everyone, I'm Jordan from A Steed of Health, and I'm happy to be practicing yoga with you today. Please take a few moments to set yourself up with either a mat or a towel, a blanket. You can also just practice right on the ground. And since our practice today is going to be focusing a little bit more on testing our balance and strength, I do recommend having some props available for you. So if you have yoga blocks or something that is roughly this size and shape, that would be fantastic. Sometimes a couple of stacked books create this nice block shape for you. You could even use like a turned over pot or pan. You can get pretty creative at home actually, finding different ways to make props. Or if you don't have blocks or anything like that, you could also use a nice firm cushion. Something like the bolsters that you may see behind me there. Anything that can kind of just bring the floor up a little bit. Even if you used a stepping stool, that would work. Okay, so pause this video now if you need to go ahead and find yourself some props, and otherwise we'll get settled and started. So come into easy pose. Anything that is comfortable and easy that allows a nice straight spine. So you might want your legs crossed like me. You could even sit on your heels if that's comfortable, or just let your legs go long in front of you. Let's take a few moments here to bring our focus within, starting to sense and feel inside the physical body. Notice all the points of contact between your body and the ground. Go ahead and allow your tailbone to start to gradually shift down towards the earth. Just creating a little bit of length in the lower spine. And sometimes it's nice to gently sway side to side, very slightly, so that we can start to create some space in between the vertebrae. So I like sort of swaying side to side, and as I sway, I'm gradually lengthening upwards through my spine. The back of the neck can be nice and long, so our chin tucks down just slightly. Arms can be soft, just resting in your lap. See if you can relax the muscles of your legs and your hips. Relax your shoulders down and away from your ears. Soften your jaw and your forehead. And if it's comfortable for you, you can close your eyes. We'll allow our focus now to settle on our breath. Just observing the flow of breath coming in and gently leaving the body. We'll just gradually begin to slow down the breath, expanding into the belly space with each breath in. And on each exhale, just firming up the abdomen a little bit, pulling the belly up and in. Relaxing the belly with a full inhale. And just gently squeezing that abdomen, pulling the navel towards the spine to let go of all the used up air. We'll start to get a little bit of movement in our practice. So working with the breath, as we inhale, let's just turn the face over to the left side. Just bringing the chin towards the shoulder. And then exhale, smoothly glide the chin over to the right side. As the inhale comes, the face moves over to the left again. And exhaling, just bring it back over to the right. Let's do this 4 more times on both sides, moving with your own breath. Just keep the movement steady and smooth. couple more times here. Just checking in with the muscles of the neck and shoulders, the front of the throat. Notice if you have any tension here. See if you can gently release that. And on your next inhale, just bring your chin back through center. Let's inhale, roll the shoulders forward and up to the ears. Exhale, draw them back and down. You can just let your arms move loosely in your lap. Nice big exaggerated circles with those shoulders. Inhaling as you draw the shoulders forward and up to the ears. Exhaling them back and down. Almost feeling as if your shoulder blades are peeling off your back and then dropping down the back. Just a couple more times. Very nice. And we'll let the shoulders drop back into place there. On the next inhale, let's sweep the arms up and overhead. Bring the hands to touch, and then exhale, press the palms away from each other. Let the arms float back down towards the earth. Just flip the palms up. Inhale, stretch high. Activating the whole arm. So get those hands and those fingers wide spread. Exhaling as the arms drop down. Inhaling, stretch, reaching out all the way up. This time as we exhale, we'll lower our hands just to parallel to the floor. So our arms are reaching straight out to the sides. Think about your middle fingers here. Reach out through those middle fingers in opposite directions. Just feel that antagonistic action of your body pulling in two different directions. Feel the space across the chest, maybe between the shoulder blades. And on your next inhale, flip the palms to face up. Point the thumbs back towards the back of your room. Exhaling, rotate those palms down and press the thumbs back again towards the back of the room. So now the tops of our palms or the tops of our hands are pointing down towards the earth. Inhaling, flip the palms up, thumbs point back. Exhaling, rotate the palms down and around until the thumbs point back. You'll feel a nice external rotation of the shoulders, so the heart is lifting on the inhale, and on the exhale, we internally rotate from the shoulders, so that whole arm, right from the shoulder joint, is rolling down. Couple more times. Inhaling to open. You can even lift your heart here. Exhaling, rotate the hands down, let the shoulders really move forward. The points of my shoulders are almost looking down towards my knees. Inhaling one more time, big and open. This time on the exhale, we'll just drop the hands down to the mat. Let's bring ourselves onto hands and knees. So we'll align ourselves so that our knees are right below our hips, and our shoulders are right on top of our wrists. We want a nice squared off table pose here. Flattening the belly in the back. Just take a moment to reach the crown of your head and your tailbone in opposite directions, creating length in the spine. On your next inhale, roll the hips upwards. Sink the belly down and let your heart shine forward. You may lift the chin just slightly, gazing forward. On the exhale, roll the hips under. Tuck that tailbone down towards the earth. Round the back, pulling the belly up. Inhaling, the hips lift, the belly sinks down, heart shines forward. And exhaling, round your back. Tuck your chin down to your chest. Drop your tailbone towards your knees. And we'll move through a couple more rounds of cat and cow, using your own breath as your guide. Always inhaling as we drop the belly down into our cow pose, and exhaling as we round the back and press away from the floor. Just getting nice length in the spine with each movement. It's more important to me in my practice to have length in my spine than to have a really big exaggerated bend in my back. This can help to protect our back from potential injury just from overextension or bending a little bit too intensely. Let's just do one more big breath in, nice full cow pose. And then on our exhale, we'll round the back again, hold your breath out. From here, tuck your toes under, and then inhale, lift your hips up. Begin to press yourself into your downward dog. So your feet are coming towards the floor. You can always step the feet further away or closer to the hands to find that perfect V shape for you. Once you feel like you've landed in the right spot, go ahead and press your hips towards the sky. Drop your head down. Let the back of your neck be long, so you're gazing towards your knees. From here, spread your fingers really wide and grip the mat. Feel like you're grabbing a hold of that mat. On the inhale, lift up onto the balls of the feet. From here, deeply bend your knees, bringing your belly and your thighs towards each other. Just take a breath here. And on the exhale, start to extend the legs again, straighten them out, and roll the heels down towards the floor. We'll do it again. Inhale, bring your feet up onto the balls, and then deeply bend those knees. Point your seat bones even higher towards the sky. Big breath in here. Exhaling, once again, lengthen the backs of the legs, the heels come towards the floor. We'll do it one more time. Inhaling, come onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, lift the hips, press away from the floor with your hands. Exhaling, lengthen the legs, stretch the heels down towards the floor. Nice. On the next inhale, we'll gaze towards our hands. Start to bend the knees and walk the feet forward. Stop once you get about halfway, so we'll have a big, deep bend in our knees. And then we'll come up onto fingertips and walk the hands in towards the feet. We'll come into a forward fold here. So bring the hands to the backs of the thighs. Just grab a hold there. And then on your inhale, flatten your back. Begin to lengthen the spine. So our upper body is about parallel to the floor. From here, your legs will become a little bit straighter, but it's okay if there's a little bend in the knees. Take a big breath in and lengthen, and then exhaling, relax the upper body. Folding forward, arms come down towards the floor. Let your chin sink down to your chest. It might feel nice here to grab onto opposite elbows. And you can even do a little sway left and right here. Keep a gentle bend in the knees. On your next inhale, bend those knees even deeper and then slowly rise up until we come all the way to stand. You can release your hands down. From here, let's inhale and stretch the arms up nice and tall. Stretch, just reach out through those arms. On the exhale, bring the hands to prayer pose, down through the center line. On your next inhale, take a big step back with the right foot. Now, you can stay here in a high lunge if you like, so the ball of your right foot will be on the ground with your heels slightly off the ground. We want to create a little bit of space in between the feet. So we'll have the feet about hip distance apart, But as you can see, I've got a lot of distance from the front to the back of my mat with my feet. And that right heel is up off the floor. If this is a little tricky for you in terms of balance, feel free to drop the heel onto the floor and position the foot on a 45-degree angle so that we are in more of a warrior one stance. Whichever one works for you, that's fine. Okay, so bring your hands to your hips and start to square your hips off with the front of the mat. We'd like our hips and our shoulders to be in alignment with each other here. Sink your tailbone down again. And once you feel like you're in a good position, you're feeling quite sturdy, you can go ahead and bend that left knee a little bit deeper. We'll start to feel that opening in the front of that right hip. Maybe that left thigh and glute is starting to fire up and get a little bit more active. It's pretty good, a little bit of fun for your practice. On the inhale, let's reach the arms forward and up. I'm just gonna face you here. So arms are lifted. As you can see, shoulders are reaching and broadening across my back, but my hands are still active. And I turn the pinky side of my hands towards the inside line of the body. From here, lengthen, stretch up through those arms. One big breath in. On your exhale, you can forward fold over that front leg. Now here's where your blocks can come in handy. So if we place our hands on blocks, it gives us a lot of room and length away from the floor. So coming into this nice lunge pose here, we'll just take another breath. And on your next inhale, step that right foot forward. We'll come right back into our forward fold. So exhaling from here, drop your head down towards your toes or your knees. Just let your upper body unfold. And again, it might be nice to take a big deep bend in your knees here. You'll notice as you do that, you just lengthen that lower back. On your next inhale, lengthen the legs again. We'll rise up halfway, so we'll flatten our back. Bring your hands to your knees or to your shins. And then on the exhale, again, lower yourself down. One more big breath in here. We'll bend the knees and roll all the way up, rising into our mountain. So arms can come up to start, and then exhale, relax them down at your sides. From here, let's bring the hands into prayer pose. Take a big step back with that left foot. So again, we have options. Staying with the left heel off the floor in a high lunge, or if balance requires that that foot is flat on the ground, take your foot to a 45-degree angle and lower the heel down. Now you can always step the feet a little further away if when you bend into that right knee, you feel that your knee is reaching beyond the front of your toes. If that's the case, we need more length in between the front and the back foot. So once you have your nice warrior one or high lunge pose, I'm going to come back into that nice high lunge. Bring the hands to the hips, square off your hips with the front of your mat. Shoulders are stacked above. Then we drop in here. Bring your tailbone down, almost tucking the torso underneath. And then elevate the heart space, relax the shoulders back and down, deepen the bend if you can. We're still breathing here. Take one more big breath in, stretch the arms nice and tall, energizing those fingers, and then exhaling, let's forward fold over that leg. So again, if you prefer, you can have your blocks here underneath those hands. This time, we'll step that right foot back, compress into our downward dog. So if your hands are on your blocks, that's okay. You can totally keep them there. If that feels really awkward for you, or you're not liking the feeling of your hands on the blocks, then you can just remove them one at a time, coming back onto the ground. So let's just play here with our downward dog. I'm just going to rotate around so you can see what I'm saying. So again, spreading the fingers wide, reaching the heels down, but more importantly, bringing the hips up. And so our back is flat, head is hanging here. On the inhale, just go ahead and reach that right foot back and up. Stretch it nice and high. You can bend the knee, lift the right hip up towards the sky, and stack it on top of that left hip. Just get a nice hip opening action there. And then bring your hips back into a squared off position. Lengthen the leg once more. On the exhale, tuck the knee in towards the chest. Shift your weight forward. Inhale, back to down dog or three-legged dog. Lift that leg all the way up. Exhale, tuck the knee in. Shift the weight forward. Inhale one more time, lifting it back and up. This time, exhale, shift the knee forward, and then drop it down on the mat behind the right wrist. And we can let the top of that right foot rest on the mat. From here, take your right arm out to the side. So the right arm is parallel to the ground, the palm is facing down towards the earth. Let's rotate here. So we've got our left hand on the mat, our right knee on the mat, and we're kicking back into that left foot. So you can tell from the video here that my left foot and my left hand are quite well aligned, and my right hip is right on top of that right knee. So we're starting to play a little bit with our balance. Press back into that left heel. Really stretch and activate that foot. Looking down towards the floor, lengthen your spine. On your next exhale, have a tiny little micro bend in that left elbow. Just a tiny one arm push up here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, option to try it again. Bending just slightly, a little bit into that left elbow. Inhale to lengthen. One more time, let's try it out. Inhale to lengthen again. Go ahead, drop that right hand back to the mat. Now, we'll step that right foot back, meeting the left, and here we come into our plank pose. So again, I'll rotate around. So zip up those abs. Make your back nice and flat. Stretch back through those right heels. Our wrists are below our shoulders, and our back and our abs are really tight and straight here. Imagine like energetically an arrow that's just about to take off. Let's take one more big breath in. On the exhale, lift your hips. Press yourself back into downward dog. From here, inhale, stretch your left foot back and up this time. Go ahead and point those toes. You can bend the knee here, and if it feels nice to stack that left hip on top of the right hip, you're welcome to do that. In doing so, we want to try to keep our shoulders squared down with the mat. And then unwrap your hips. Reach that left foot back and up again. On your exhale, bend the knee, tuck it to the nose, shift your weight forward. Inhale, reach it back and up. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, stretch high and tall. This time, exhale, pull that knee in, shift the weight forward, lower the knee behind the left heel, the heel of the left palm. Keep your right hand where it is. Stretch your left hand out to the side, bringing it parallel to the floor. So coming into this nice little balance tester again. Look down towards the floor so your spine is nice and long. We can play with those baby push-ups here in the one arm. So again, on our exhale, we'll take a micro bend in that right elbow. Then inhale, lengthen it again. Exhale, micro bend. Inhale, lengthen. And one more time. And then on your next exhale, drop that left hand down. Step your left foot back, coming into plank again. So we can play with our plank a little bit here. If you ever feel like your hands are too far forward for your plank, particularly that might affect you when you reach the heels back, you can always just step the heels of the the heels of the hands back a little bit. From here, zip up those abs. Make yourself nice and flat. We'll do 3 baby push-ups here, just micro bending the elbows. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, last time, bend. Inhale, lengthen. And then press your hips up. Come back into your downward dog. Let's stay here for a couple rounds of breath, just coming back into a controlled and slow rhythm. Let your head hang. If it feels good, you might want to paddle out one leg and then the other. On your next inhale, turn your gaze forward. And again, you can walk your feet up halfway. You can take a big step, or if you like, you can try jumping the feet towards the hands. In which case, we take a big, deep bend, roll up onto the balls of the feet, and exhale, project yourself forward. Feet come towards the hands. Inhale, bring the hands to the tops of the legs, flatten the back. Exhale, roll forward and down, forward fold. Deeply bend the knees. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up. We'll come high into our standing mountain pose. And then exhale, press the air away. Coming back with our palms facing forward. Now we'll take it up a notch with our balance poses. I'd like to explore some standing splits. So to set ourselves up, let's bring our blocks to the highest height at the top of our mat. And we'll step forward, bringing the feet nice and close to those blocks. For me, I've got maybe a foot in between myself and my blocks right now. You can always reach, you just want them within reach, basically, yeah. So let's have a little micro bend in the knees, sink your tailbone down, heart is lifted, shoulders roll back. Inhale, let's stretch the arms up. Maybe a baby back bend here, just lifting the heart, rolling shoulders back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bring the hands to the knees or to the shins, flatten your back and rise halfway. Exhale, roll down the rest of the way. We'll bend our knees, plant your hands. Like I said before, you're welcome to have your hands on the blocks to get started here. That's totally okay. We'll step our feet back and come into our downward dog. Just take a breath. On your inhale, stretch your right foot back and up. So reaching that right leg nice and high. Then exhaling, bend the knee, bring it in towards the chest. Shift your weight forward and step your right foot between the blocks. It's okay if it takes a couple of steps to get it there. Once you're there, in our nice low lunge here, bring your hands to the blocks. I actually suggest coming into that highest height for your blocks, or whatever props you're using, use the highest height on them. From here, let's activate this right leg. Get it nice and strong so that actually we don't really need the blocks. They're just sort of there to protect us. They're there for a little bit of support. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, shift your weight forward. Start to pick that left foot up off the ground. As we do this, we can lower the head down. So it's a forward fold with our left leg back and up behind us. Keep the leg as straight as you can, and it's okay if it doesn't reach super high. Now the hands are on the blocks just to support us, but here we can even play with our balance a little bit more. If you want, Just lift the hands off the blocks. Find a drishti here, a focal point for your eyes somewhere on the ground in front of you. Options for arms, if we want, we can play with the dancer pose, lengthening the arms out to the sides and perhaps lifting the heart away from the knees, coming into a nice flat back. From here, let's exhale wherever you're at. Bring the hands back down to the blocks. Bend that right knee, drop your left foot, then hug that left knee in towards the chest and place it down on the mat beside the right one. Let's inhale, lift into our chair pose. So keep those hips nice and low. We'll stay here for a breath. Next inhale, rise all the way up. I see my head keeps getting cut off there. Exhale, just relax the arms down. Whew, nice work. Shake it out, get yourself a little wiggle. Just kind of let go of any tension that you might have felt building up or any, tapas. You got some fire in those legs now. Just go ahead, give a little shake. Okay, and we'll line ourselves back up to try it again on the other side. So for me, just because I am using my blocks as I go into down dog, I'm bringing my blocks to the second highest height, just to get started. Inhale, bring the palms to face forward, micro bend the knees, set ourselves up nicely in mountain pose, just feel stable. On your inhale, reach the arms up, stretching high, growing tall, getting length in the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Bring your hands to your shins or to your knees, flatten your back, lengthen, rise halfway. Exhale, forward fold, roll down completely. Bring the hands to the blocks or just to the floor. Step your feet back. Come into downward dog by lifting the hips and dropping the head. Inhale, stretch that left foot back and up this time. Just reaching it nice and high. On the exhale, tuck the knee in towards the chest, shift your weight forward, bring that left foot all the way through the blocks, planting it down. Good, now again, just test out the strength in that leg. Start to play with lifting off the blocks, just feeling how that feels. And then we'll shift our blocks to the highest height for support. Inhale, and start to shift the weight forward over that left leg. The right foot begins to lift off the floor as we start to lengthen that left leg. Head drops towards the knees. Right foot is reaching into the sky. Arms are supported on these blocks. And again, options here. You can stay in this standing splits pose, or we can start to play with dancer pose. Starting to flatten the back, find your drishti, that focal point for your eyes that doesn't move. Stretch the arms out in like an airplane, or if you prefer, you can bring the arms forward. Let's inhale wherever we're at. And then on the exhale, lower the hands to the blocks, bend into that left knee and drop the right foot down. Hug the right knee in towards the body before you can settle that right foot onto the earth. Stay low in our chair pose. Inhale, stretch the arms up, sinking the hips down. We'll stay here for one more big breath. On the exhale, forward fold, lengthen your legs so your hips are lifted, your legs are straight. Relax. From here, just take your blocks to the side. You won't need them anymore. Bend your knees one more time and plant the hands. We'll step the feet back into our downward dog. Just a couple more breaths here. And then on the exhale, bend your knees, drop them down onto the mat. From here, we'll walk the hands in, and let's come onto our seat. So bend your knees, place your feet flat on the floor in front of you. From here, we'll take our hands
and rest on them, having them support us behind us. So my fingers are pressing away from my body. I'm still keeping my hands and arms pretty active, even though we're starting to cool down a bit. Bring your feet about hip distance apart. Inhale, reach your right foot up towards the sky. Just straightening that leg as much as you can. It's not a big deal. And then go ahead and cross the right ankle over the left knee. Coming into a bit of a figure four or reclining figure four variation. So here we'll gently activate that right foot. It doesn't have to be super active. And we'll reach the right knee out towards the right side of the room. If this doesn't feel like much of a stretch for your body, you can always just step the left foot in a little closer to the bum. That'll intensify the hip opening action. So let's just allow our breath to come back to its natural rhythm. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths. Just sending some kindness and some appreciation to these awesome legs and arms for supporting us in our practice. Now, if you've tucked that left foot in closer, you might want to release it a little bit before we unravel and drop that right foot back to the floor. Just take a moment to notice how the left side feels and how the right side feels. Now we'll just loosely let the legs tick-tock left and right. Then bring the knees back up to center. Inhale, stretch your left foot high. Exhale, bend the knee, cross the left ankle over the right knee, and open the left knee towards the left side. Gently activate that left foot, just pulling the toes towards the shin a little bit. And again, if you feel like this isn't much of a stretch for you, just start walking that right foot in closer to the bum. Couple of big, slow breaths here. Maybe cultivating a sense of gratitude again for these legs, these feet, these hips, these really powerful muscles that carry us all day, every day. 2 more big breaths here. If you've tucked that right foot in, just release it a little bit, and we'll let that left leg go down. From here, we'll tick-tock left and right a little bit more. Just feeling a nice little booty massage. And then bring the knees back up to center. Let's press the soles of the feet together and let the knees open to the side. We'll just walk ourselves back up so that we're sitting upright. We'll do a nice gentle little rotation in our wrists, just sending a little bit of attention and care there. Circling in one direction and in the other. From here, bring those beautiful hands in contact with your beautiful feet, if you can. If it's too much of a stretch to have your hands actually reach your feet, no problem. Just rest them on your legs wherever it works. We'll softly open the legs here. The feet can be further away from the body or closer, like whatever feels good in your body. From here, let's just lengthen our spine on a big inhale. On the exhale, roll forward and down. Just relax your chin towards your chest. We'll just take a few slow, deep breaths here. And 1 more big breath. Sighing it out. We'll bring our hands onto the mat,
Just gently press ourselves away from the ground, then bring the hands to the outsides of the legs and gently close them. From here, we'll lower down onto our backs, so you can have many different ways to get there, whatever way works for you. So when we land here on the back, let your left leg go long, go straight on the mat, and tuck your right leg in towards the chest. Wrap your hands around the right leg, just scooch it in a little bit closer. Let's take a moment to breathe and feel how this in our body feels. Then on your next exhale, with your left hand, guide the right knee across the body. So then our right hand is free to open up, letting that palm face up and just rest the right hand on the ground. Left hand can stay on the outside of that right knee as we come into this nice torso twist. One more big breath here. Then bring your left hand to the inside of the right knee. Gently guide it back to center. One more time, we'll take the knee in both hands. Exhale, squeeze it in. And then inhaling, release the leg, let it go long on the mat. And draw the left knee in. Once again, both hands interlace around the knee, squeeze it in. One big breath in. On the exhale, squeeze it a little closer. One more full breath in. And take your right hand and guide the left knee across to the right side of the body. Now the left hand can rest on the mat with the palm faced up. Allow your breath to continue to deepen and slow down here. One more full breath, followed by a deep sigh. Then press the right hand to the inside of the left knee, guiding it back to center, where both hands will gently pull it in towards the body. As you inhale, release the knee down, let both legs go long, flip the palms to face up, spread your legs out so that you're in a nice, comfortable, and relaxed position for Shavasana. We'll stay here for a few moments, just allowing the body to settle into the ground. Release any effort from the body, just letting it all go. Close your eyes, relax your head, your focus. Let your breath return to its natural rhythm. And with grace and ease, allow rest into the body. Receiving rest. Letting go of effort. Remain here for the next few moments in silence. if you wish to remain in Shavasana for a little longer, you can stay here. If you're ready to close your practice, let us begin to deepen the breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Reach the arms overhead and breathe in, giving yourself a full body stretch, pressing the feet and the hands in opposite directions. Exhale, draw the knees in towards the chest, wrap your arms around them, gently rock side to side. And then roll over onto one side of the body. Just take a moment here to maybe offer yourself a little blessing, even if it's simply the words gratitude and love. When you're ready, press your hands into the mat and slowly rise up. We'll find our way back to easy pose and easy seat for us to close our practice. So when we arrive here, just take a moment to sense and feel within. Notice how you're physically feeling. Notice emotionally. Be aware of the thoughts and the quality of them. Perhaps you can notice the energy stirring within and around you. Let's bring our hands into prayer pose, pressing the palms into one another, and then just gently glide the thumbs down over the heart center. If you like, you can tuck your chin here. Inhaling will lengthen the spine, and exhaling will softly release our practice. I thank you so much for practicing with me today. From the most sacred place within myself, I recognize that place in you. And when we are both aware of that space and holding that space, we are one. Namaste. Have a wonderful day.